What's going on, everybody? It is Tuesday. Hope you are staying safe. Hope you're doing well. Got a little bit of a comic book industry update. A couple of things to talk about. Diamond stuff. Diamond's pretty much not paying people money that they owe them, which is kind of crazy. And I got some stuff to talk about with that. Then what is Marvel and DC doing? Because this is now the second week of no new books. Are they going to release any? So we're going to talk about that. And then I do want to talk about Ezra Miller. I want to give my thoughts on that. And then finally, let's do an update on Snowflake in Safe Space here. As you can see, this trailer video is almost to 200,000 downvotes, which I find absolutely hilarious. And they're almost to 1 million views. You know, I was thinking, it's kind of crazy because this dropped March 17th, right? It's really not that long ago. The comic book industry was still running when this dropped. And then shortly after this dropped, the comic book industry just collapsed. And like, this is the last thing, the last thing that Marvel really announced. This was the last big thing. And it's kind of put a bad taste in people's mouths. It really has. So let's move on. Just like to give an update on this. I'm eagerly awaiting the 200,000 mark. And we're almost there. Second up, I want to talk about this Ezra Miller thing. Everyone's talking about it. I didn't make a dedicated video to it because I don't know. I don't know if this is real. So going on here, if you don't know what happened, this is basically it. Let me go ahead and play this for you guys.
Learn it? Did you want to fight? Is that the deal?
Whoa, bro.
Fight?
So just going off of that, it looks like this woman came up and he slammed her down. So I don't know if this is real or not. Now there's some details that have come out. Got something from Reddit here. And then this person came out and said, okay, I'm exposing Ezra Miller because he just attacked my friend at the bar after she jokingly challenged him. He took it way too seriously and slammed her to the ground. So I don't know if this is 100% real. Some people are saying it is. Some people are saying it isn't. This could all be a troll. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure yet. All I know is I think Ezra Miller is a weirdo. I don't care for the guy. And if this gets him off of the Flash, I think that'll be great because he's a terrible, terrible Barry Allen. And good riddance to the man who wanted to get rid of the heteropatriarchy or whatever that stuff was he did with Gal Gadot way back. The guy is cringe incarnate. So bye-bye. Bye-bye, Ezra Miller. See ya. Finally, digital comics, still not a thing. So this is big news. So this is now the second week of no new comics. For the first time, I think, ever. Like, there's always been comics every Wednesday for my entire life and probably your parents' life. This is the first time, as far as I know, and I could be wrong, comics have ceased. At least new comics. I think there was some digital first comics that came out last week. The Batman the Animated Series one. That one dropped. But other than that, it's just been reissues and collections. So it's very, it's this very significant time. CBR has learned that Marvel Comics will not release any new comic book titles digitally on April 8th. This marks the second week in a row that the publisher has declined to release any comics digitally, following Diamond Comics distributors halting the shipment of new comics. And we move on. DC Comics is doing the same. DC confirms digital release list for April 7th and 8th. No new single issue comics. DC will release a selection of OGNs, collections, digital first titles, and reprints digitally this week. While earlier Monday, DC Comics showed a full slate of titles that were originally solicited for release April 8th. The site has since been amended, and DC tells Newsrama that the list is now official. So what's coming out? Well, the release list includes the original YA graphic novel Gotham High and collections of Batman Last Night on Earth, Freedom Fighters, Rise of a Nation, Justice League, and Swamp Thing. Gotham High comes out. We will be purchasing that and reading it for a review on the channel. That should be a fun time. So looking forward to that. So this is pretty significant. So this is now week 2. Marvel's not releasing anything, and neither is DC Comics. So this is a first. I wonder how long they're going to keep doing this. I think that they probably are trying to figure out ways to get stuff moving. But, what else did they have? Diamond was really what they relied on. They've been relying on comic book shops, and they've just kind of been in this late. I mean, the comic book industry has been lazy for years, and now they're paying the price for not having plan B's and C's. I wonder, after this mess lifts up, if it lifts up anytime soon, what will the comic book industry look like when life goes back to normal? If it even does go back to normal, what is the industry going to look like? It's crazy to even think about. One thing that's pretty clear is whatever the industry looks like, I don't think that there will be a Diamond Comics. They're broke. It's pretty obvious at this point that they're broke, or at least pretty damn close to having no money whatsoever, because now they're telling people how they're going to pay them back. Okay, instead of just giving them all the money they owe all the money that they owe people, instead of just giving them their money, they're doing payment plans now, which is going to take weeks apparently to pay back. It's going to take them weeks to pay people back now, apparently. So I don't think that's how this is supposed to work, but what are you going to do? Diamond has always kind of done things however they want. I mean, why can't they? They've been a monopoly forever, which is a problem in itself, which is why I said they had no plan B, C, D, nothing. They had no idea how to handle this. And what happens now? Diamond shuts down. The comic book industry is screwed because Diamond shut down. And now everyone's scrambled to try to figure out what the hell to do. So Diamond, I think, is done regardless. I think right now, for sure, Marvel, DC, boom, they're probably all talking behind the scenes in some way or trying to do it themselves. They're probably all trying to figure out right now, how do we get comics to people? What do we do? How do we fix this? And you give enough time, they're going to go around Diamond. I think Diamond is done. I think Diamond is broke. I think Diamond is done. You really don't need them anymore. I think Marvel and DC are going to figure something out. And then, hopefully Boom and all the other publishers can figure something out. This could potentially definitely bankrupt smaller publishers because, I mean, you're talking about you're going to have to build your own distribution network now. Before you just send everything to Diamond, Diamond would send the comics out. That's not the way it's going to work anymore. So let's go over this. Diamond Comics announced that they won't be able to pay publishers in full until at least August. In an email to comic book publishers founder, chairman and CEO of Jeppy Family Enterprises, Steve Jeppy outlined a plan to pay publishers following the announcement that they would no longer be distributing new comics due to everything going on right now. Here's the new payment plan. The email shared to social media by Alterna Comics founder Peter Simeti details that Diamond Comics will begin paying publishers and other vendors 25% of what they are owed under the contracts beginning the week of April 6, 2020. They will then pay publishers and other vendors 25% of what they are owed each subsequent week for the next 6 weeks. Diamond Comics then details they will begin paying the rest of the amount that was deferred in payments over a 13-week period. That means publishers and vendors won't see their full payments from Diamond Comics until late August. Here's their full action plan. Beginning this week, the week of April 6th, you will receive 25% of the weekly amount due under your correct terms. Each week after, you will receive a 25% of that week's balance due. The reduced payment schedule will continue for 6 weeks, with the remaining 75% due in each of those weeks being deferred. Following the 6-week period, we'll begin payment of the deferred balance in equal payments over a 13-week period. They're broke. And that's really what it is. They don't have no money. They're rolling through money, and they're praying that they can get a nice bank loan from that big bailout. But they don't have any money. They're done. And regardless of what you want to believe, when the smoke clears from everything that's going on right now, Diamond is probably going to be done. A lot of comic book shops, probably at least 25 to 30%, and I'm being generous here, are probably going to be shut down. And you're for sure, Marvel and DC will still be around. But one or two of the smaller publishers, maybe like a Dark Horse, somebody like them, smaller publishers some of those are probably going to get knocked down. And, it's just due to a lot of incompetence, a lot of incompetent people running the industry. Look at Valiant Comics. They put Heather Antos in charge. She's a nobody, a clown. Insiders from Marvel talking about she's sleeping at her desk sometimes or something, according to what your boy Zach was saying. Like, she's a clown, she's a joke, but they give her a senior editor-in-chief job at Valiant Comics because she's a milkshake girl, if you know that story. Okay, they've promoted clowns and inexperienced people to run these companies, and what did they do? They've ran them all into the ground. And now you're seeing the aftermath of hiring incompetent people to run a business. So I don't know what's going to happen. I think it'll be around in some fashion, but as it is right now, like, you're going to see big major changes when this all clears up. And I don't know what that's going to look like. I don't know. Anyway, that's pretty much it. I have another video coming up. I'm going to go over the history of a Marvel creator and some of the nasty things that he said. That'll be my next video, so watch out for that. Until then, let me know what you think about this. How do you feel about the comic book industry? How do you feel? Do you think that they're done? What do you think the industry looks like when the smoke clears? What do you think that industry looks like? I'd like to hear your thoughts on that. Also, share the video if you would, please. Throw a like up. Make sure you still subscribe. Subscribe if you're new. Hit that notification bell, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace. Also, if you want to help support the channel, check out my Teespring store. There's a link in the description. You can find some merchandise in there that you might want to check out. Also, take a moment. Make sure you're still subscribed to the channel. There's something going on right now, and they've been unsubscribing people. So just take a second and double check on that, and subscribe if you're new.